Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, May 2nd, 2015. Lynn and Jamie here, continuing our assignments and our string of non-directive sessions. Our intention is to do whatever is ours to do in all dimensions right now to trigger the awakening right now. And with that, it begins.
Feeling very much like those mud monsters. Very much.
Yes.
And sad. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't intend to end up like this.
No.
I'm fat and frozen. Well, not as fat as I was.
That's true.
But still disappointed in myself and in my life and angry about it and looking for people to blame.
That's true.
Surely this can't be my fault that I created such a disaster out of my life.
Right, that's true.
Let me quick find as many people as possible to blame.
Right, that's true.
My attention is brought to the crown chakra.
That's true.
And how it's not as tightly closed as it was before we began working with it several hours ago.
That's true.
But it's like what I'm seeing is a thick mud puddle, like quicksand.
That's true.
Where every now and then a big bubble of like gas comes out.
That's true.
Opening it for that brief moment that the bubble is passing through, and then the quicksand is right back there. It looks like a pit of quicksand.
That's true.
What do I know about quicksand? Once you fall in it, it's hard to get out.
That's true.
You need outside help. You need help to get out of these quicksand pits. It's almost impossible to get out of a quicksand pit yourself unless it's shallow enough that you can touch bottom.
That's
you can stand on truth, in effect.
True.
Or that you have help to get out. And so what they're saying, check me on this, is if we're not standing truth to truth, target to target with our pillars long enough, then we're going to need help to get out of here.
That's true.
It isn't going to happen without that. And of course we have to do whatever our part is.
That's
like if we get a hand up and they say, now walk up the wall, we'll hold you, and now you use your feet to walk up the wall. We have to walk up the wall.
That's true.
We're still in the quicksand.
That's true.
Got it. Being the mud monster, merging, owning this. We can only heal what we can sustain and merge with. So actually feeling the mud monsterness, how am I exactly like this? And feeling again how it felt when this body-mind many years ago had chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, and when with the onset of that disease, gaining 25 or something like that pounds in 6 months on a body whose weight never fluctuated.
That's true.
And then feeling exactly like this, fat and exhausted and helpless to make an improvement.
That's true.
But quite clear that no one else was going to be able to do anything, and determined to get better. So, all right, what must I do next?
That's true.
That attitude of clarity that no one else is going to solve the problem for us is essential. As long as we're operating under the delusion that somebody else is going to swoop in on a white horse and rescue us, we tend to sit here like fat pigs doing nothing. And that doesn't work.
No.
That doesn't work. And this is no disrespect to anybody who's suffering with any kind of issue, because heaven knows we've been exactly in that seat.
That's
exactly how it is. And here we find ourselves in that seat again.
That's true.
As a mud monster.
That's true.
How may we be of service right now to trigger the awakening right now? And again, my attention is brought to that blub quicksand pit at the crown. And so if we raising our channels, attempting to raise the channels, it's like watching something that starts to lift out of the quicksand and then boom, boom, back in. Starts to lift out of the quicksand, boom, back in. Okay. Merging. Well, what do I know? Upward rising earth energy could be deficient. Truth, the upward flow of truth. We could engage the fire hose of truth. See if that works.
Crank it in. Blast it up.
You know what it looks like? I don't know exactly where this is, but it might be in Yellowstone or something, where there are these mud pits, and then poof, clean water shoots through at some kind of predictable intervals.
It's true.
Like
a geyser.
A geyser. There's a specific name, and that I can't quite get the vibration of it, but I see the image, and it feels as though it's in Yellowstone.
That's true.
Blood.
Blood.
The bulb syringe technique might be helpful here.
That's true.
Let's see if we can get that going. Whoosh, swoosh.
Stretching longer.
Stretching longer. Merging, deepening the merge. Deepening the merge. We can only heal what we can sustain a merge with. And I'm starting to become aware of lots of clogs, and this whole energy body is just clogged.
It's true.
And then last night we were working with it, shooting electrical current through the electrical system of the light body, the meridians and nervous system, etc.
That's true.
And now we're working with something that feels more liquid, so more like a hydraulic system.
That could be.
The nadis. So we're like doing a subtle nadi flushing the subtle nadis. Again, my attention is brought to that image of those huge crystals in that Mexican cave.
It's true.
It looks like they have broken. It's really clear what that is about now.
Yes.
It's about at the level of the mud monsters. How we at some point in time basically said, stay away, stinky soul. We don't want to live that soul plan. That's too scary. And we blew up our own channels. We blew them up. Boom! And then they fell down looking like all those crystals in the Mexican cave, helter-skelter.
That's true.
Well, the best time to correct an error is right away, and the second best time is right now.
That's true.
We can do this. And I see how balanced on the razor's edge we all are in these moments of really tough decisions.
That's true.
They're showing how it was for this body-mind when she was so sick. This body-mind was so sick with chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia.
That's true.
Feeling like it was hard to walk from bed to bathroom.
That's true.
And needing to sleep 20 hours a day.
That's true.
To be able to get through the other 4 hours.
That's true.
And when the guide said, if you don't start to exercise, you're never going to get well.
That's true.
And feeling, I can't. But hearing quite clearly them saying, if you don't do this, you will never get well. Saying, all right, well, I don't intend to stay sick for the rest of my life, and so I will get up and exercise, even though it made me feel sick and took several days to recover, and then I would do it and I would feel sick again and take several days to recover, because I intended to get well.
That's true.
And that how easy it would have been to have fallen off the other side of that razor and chosen to not do it.
That's true.
There but for the grace of God.
That's true.
There but for the grace of God. And perhaps it literally was grace.
That's
when
true.
we suffer deeply in our lives, and we're intending to live a good life, and not just intending, really going for it, trying to be a good person.
That's true.
And we're abused and taken advantage of, and by person after person after person, we do accrue grace. And by that point in time, boy, there had been a lot of abuse heaped on this body-mind.
That's true.
By pretty much every single trusted person in her life.
That's true.
So a lot of grace, and maybe the grace is just was enough to
lift up and over.
Up and over.
That's true.
Get to the gym, buy a gym membership, and use it.
That's true.
So we say to this mud monster, let's play our grace. And get going. Playing the grace for all the errors.
Boom.
Me too, me too,
me too, me too, me too.
Who among us doesn't make almost a continual stream of errors all the time? The trick is to notice them, acknowledge them, and adjust course immediately.
It's true.
Boom, boom, boom. So we can mess up and say, oh, that was a mistake, and then correct and move forward. Mess up and say, oh, geez, I'm not going to do that again. And really intend to not do it again. Really actually intend to never make that mistake again.
That's
and move forward. And now let's correct the omissions. For us as mud monster, deepening the merge, playing the grace, starting to correct the omissions. and look at all the things not done. And like, that's really seems to be what's choking this horse.
That's true.
And now with our own action intending to correct some of these emissions ourselves, with the grace we could get it flowing. Oh, it's interesting. That's opposite of the normal order of affairs.
That's
but
true.
we were just stuck, just absolutely frozen in inaction. And so, we use a little bit of grace to get it unstuck.
That's true.
I was asking, what did the grace come from? Probably the sabotage attempts. They said, what do you think?
Oh, that's
Place
true.
your bets.
That's true.
I have seen all these sabotaging efforts by the guides,
That's
quote
true.
unquote, who are really basically stabbing their physical dimension charges in the back
Oh yeah, that's true.
by not holding them accountable for their soul plans. And
That's
then these
true.
poor physical dimension people are getting body snatched left and right and being used as meat puppets for truly horrendous evil beings.
That's true.
And this feels to me that now this is occurring at the subatomic level, because the more we claim presence as these big, we're going to have to find a different term than mud monsters,
true.
but since that's where we started, let's complete this thought with that
Right,
term.
that's true.
The more we merge with these big presences previously known as mud monsters,
That's true.
the more we can see that all those guides that we have been dealing with for eons are at the subatomic level.
Right, that's
So
true.
we have leapfrogged, flip-flopped, and now we are the big ones and they are the teeny-weeny ones.
Right,
and
that's true.
Boy, that's a wonderful lesson in the law of cause and effect and how the karmic cycle is real,
That's
right?
true.
Because they were refusing to acknowledge the reality of sentient presence at the subatomic level, and boom, what just happened to them?
They became the sentient presence at the subatomic level.
It does seem to have happened that way.
That's true.
Now, luckily, we aren't vindictive.
No.
And we intend to trigger the awakening
That is
right
true.
now. And so having them wake up would be useful. However, if we steal, and somebody just said, what are you doing?
Right.
Channels up, how may we be of service? If we steal their learning opportunity too soon, will they actually learn it?
No.
Not likely.
That's true.
Got it.
Got it.
Okay. But now we see how all these messages about keeping 1/3 of the funding and passing 2/3
Thirds
on
down.
suddenly make sense.
That's true.
Absolutely. For every single incoming drop, we pass 2/3 down.
That's true.
And we see again the challenge of converting grace to physical dimension funding
That's true.
in an environment where everything is breaking down at the level of the purported support system, where the
That's
support
true.
system doesn't work. It is
That's
like
true.
trying to give earthworms money in worm currency, only these earthworms are living at the center of the planet.
That's true.
And all of this used to be occurring through some kind of divine infrastructure that no
That's
longer
true.
exists, that was broken.
That's true.
Good luck with that project.
That's true.
Got it.
Got it.
So in this error correction, we
Yes.
see that the big error on the part of the mud monsters was of blowing up our own intuitive channels,
It's
blasting
true.
our channels to smithereens, saying, you didn't help me, curse you,
That's true.
God by any name,
That's
now
true.
I shall disconnect.
That's
Wow.
true.
How's that working?
Not great.
Not great. So let's correct that
Break
error.
that error. Boom.
And who among us
Boom.
hasn't done that?
Yeah, me too, me too.
Me too, me too, me too, me too. Really working that bulb syringe way down low. Super deep. It's almost right down at the target that we're supposed to be basing our lives on.
That's true.
And there's a big pit of truth there that's just sat there because we're not moving, and it's as if there's no circulation. Phlebitis
true.
is a disease where your veins just basically fall apart because we aren't moving.
That's true.
So now we just pulse this bulb syringe and get this truth moving up through
That's
our
true.
system. Heal the phlebitis.
That's true. That's
What
true.
are veins? Veins return the used blood to
Back
the heart and lungs.
That's true.
And so this is the grace has already been played.
That's true.
And now through our own efforts we need to get the blood back up to the heart so it can pump it into the lungs, refresh the blood, and
That's
boom,
true.
send it out again.
That's true.
All right, so our own efforts. We've seen this in multiple ways, how we
That's
have to
true.
get going, and then the grace will bubble up the back.
That's true.
Okay, here we go. Whatever this mud monster's goal, and the mud monster has the soul plan to trigger the awakening.
That's true.
Got it.
Got
Okay, let's get going on the life path.
Boom, 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 boom.
If we can't run, we can walk.
That's true.
At the end of the day,
You
we
can
can always
always
walk.
walk. That's
Black
true.
Wolf said that.
That is
Okay,
true.
let's walk.